My mother-in-law tried to hit me with a chair at Christmas dinner for carrying twins. That was her final strike. "You're having twins?" Pamela shrieked, grabbing the antique wooden chair beside her. "You calculating little snake?" "Mom, put the chair down!" Derek shouted, leaping between us as his mother hoisted the chair above her head like a weapon. She planned this on purpose. Pamela's face had gone scarlet with fury. "Twins! To steal all the spotlight, to destroy everything I've worked for." I pressed my hands protectively over my rounded belly, my heart hammering. "Pamela, please think about the babies. Don't you dare play innocent." She swung the chair in a wild arc. "This is my family, my moment. My mother-in-law tried to assault me with furniture at Christmas dinner because I was carrying twins. Hi, I'm Meredith. Today I'm going to tell you the wildest story of my life. But before I continue, please like, share, and subscribe to hear more incredible stories like this. You know how some people joke that their mother-in-law's insane? Well, mine literally attempted to attack me with a dining room chair when she discovered I was pregnant with twins. But the real story isn't just about that disastrous Christmas dinner. It's about a woman so consumed by her need for control that she demolished her own family trying to maintain her iron grip. I met Derek Sullivan at a pharmaceutical conference in Chicago 3 years ago. I was presenting groundbreaking research on high-risk pregnancies. My specialty as a maternal-fetal medicine physician, and he was there representing his family's medical device company. We connected over lukewarm conference center coffee and discovered we both loved rock climbing on weekends. "Fair warning," he told me on our third date, his hazel eyes serious. "My mother is a lot." I laughed it off. "Every guy says that about his mom." "No, Meredith, I mean she's already selected my future wife, designed my wedding down to the napkin colors and named my hypothetical children. And you're definitely not her choice." I should have listened to that red flag, but Derek was everything I'd ever wanted. Brilliant, compassionate, adventurous, and surprisingly emotionally aware for someone raised by what I'd later learn was essentially a benevolent dictator. Pamela Sullivan was a phenomenon wrapped in designer St. John knit suits and impossibly high standards. She'd married into the prominent Sullivan family 38 years ago. Her maiden name was just Pamela Wright from a middle-class suburb, and she'd spent every single day since proving she deserved her place among Boston's elite. Her Beacon Hill townhouse looked like it belonged in Architectural Digest. Her charity galas were legendary throughout New England, and her control over her family was absolutely complete. "So," she said when we first met, examining me like I was merchandise at Neiman Marcus. "You're the doctor Derek mentioned." "Yes, I'm an OB/GYN, specifically a maternal-fetal medicine specialist," I replied politely, extending my hand. Her smile grew tighter as she gave my hand the briefest shake. How ambitious. "Though I do hope you're not one of those modern career women who prioritizes work over family life. I believe in finding balance," I said carefully, already sensing the minefield. She turned to Derek. "Speaking of balance, did you call Amanda? The Whitmore girl just finished her MBA at Wharton. Lovely young woman, old Boston family, traditional values." That interaction set the tone for everything that followed. For 2 solid years, Pamela waged psychological warfare against our relationship. She'd schedule mandatory family events during my hospital shifts, timing she somehow always knew. Despite Derek never telling her my schedule, she'd accidentally forget to set a place for me at formal dinners. At gatherings, she'd speak French to the other guests whenever I joined conversations. Despite everyone being perfectly comfortable in English, she's testing you. Derek's sister Christina told me privately after one particularly brutal Thanksgiving. She pulled the same tactics with Greg's girlfriend. Spoiler alert, they didn't make it. "What about your husband?" I asked. "How did he pass her test?" Christina's laugh was hollow. "He didn't. Mom handpicked him from 3 suitable candidates. I just accepted her choice because fighting her is exhausting." The sabotage intensified after Derek proposed. Pamela actually hired a private investigator to dig up dirt on me. When that failed, my most scandalous secret was a parking ticket from medical school. She pivoted to emotional manipulation. "Derek, sweetheart," she said at a family dinner, dabbing at completely dry eyes. "I just want your happiness. But Meredith isn't even from our social circle. What about our traditions, our legacy? Your children won't understand our family history." "Mom, that's classist and you know it," Derek said firmly. "It's not classist to want to preserve what generations built," Pamela snapped, the fake tears evaporating instantly. "I've already mentioned to Catherine Ashford that her daughter Caroline is available. Yale graduate, comes from excellent stock." "I'm marrying Meredith," Derek interrupted. "You can accept it or not, but it's happening regardless." Pamela's carefully constructed mask slipped, revealing raw fury before she composed herself. "We'll see about that." Wedding planning became guerrilla warfare. Pamela would contact our vendors behind our backs to change details. She'd add 50 extra guests to our intimate ceremony. She spread vicious rumors to the extended family. She told Derek's grandmother I was infertile, hoping to turn the family matriarch against me. "Where did you even come up with that idea?" I confronted her directly. "Well, you're 33 and childless," she said sweetly. "One naturally wonders if there's an underlying issue. I was building my career and waiting for the right partner," I said through clenched teeth. "Of course, dear. Though it would be absolutely tragic if Derek married you and never had children. He's the only son, you see. The Sullivan name depends on him producing heirs." I wanted to tell her I could have 10 kids if I chose. Knowing exactly how to optimize conception was literally my job. But I kept silent, refusing to give her ammunition. The wedding itself was beautiful. Despite Pamela wearing cream, "It's champagne, not white," she insisted, in delivering a 40-minute speech that somehow excluded me entirely while praising Derek's every childhood accomplishment. But the real war began when we started trying for children. Month after month, Pamela would ask, "Any news yet?" Her eyes would laser focus on my stomach like she had X-ray vision. She'd leave fertility clinic pamphlets around during visits. She even ambushed us with her friend's miracle worker acupuncturist at dinner once. "Perhaps it's stress," she'd say innocently. "Career women often struggle with conception. Maybe if Meredith reduced her hours." What Pamela didn't know was that Derek and I weren't even trying yet. We'd agreed to be married for 1 full year first, to establish our foundation as a couple without external pressure. But Pamela's obsession was relentless, bordering on unhinged. "I'm 56 years old," she wailed at Derek's birthday dinner, actually dabbing at real tears this time. "Will I die without grandchildren? Is that what you both want?" "Christina has 2 kids, Derek pointed out reasonably. "Daughters don't carry the family name," Pamela sniffed dismissively. "I need a grandson to continue the Sullivan lineage. That's how families like ours maintain our position." Christina caught my eye across the table and mouthed, "I'm so sorry." We'd become secret allies in what we privately called the Pamela Wars, bonding over shared suffering. When we finally did start trying, I conceived immediately. The irony of Pamela's fertility concerns wasn't lost on me. But at my 8-week ultrasound, we got an unexpected surprise. "Well, congratulations," my colleague Dr. Phillips said, grinning at the screen. "You're having twins." Derek and I were absolutely thrilled. 2 babies at once, our family complete in 1 pregnancy. We decided to wait until Christmas to announce it, when the whole Sullivan clan would be gathered at Pamela's Beacon Hill townhouse. "Let's just announce the pregnancy initially," I suggested. "Save the twin reveal for a separate surprise later." Derek agreed immediately. "Mom's going to have a meltdown either way. Might as well spread out the chaos." Christmas arrived with typical Pamela extravagance. The townhouse was decorated like a luxury hotel lobby. Professional designer, coordinated color scheme, fresh flowers everywhere. Catering staff in formal attire circulated with champagne and canopies, and the entire extended family had been summoned. Pamela presided over everything in a burgundy Oscar de la Renta dress that probably cost more than my student loan payment. Everyone attention, please, Derek called out during dinner. Meredith and I have an announcement. The dining room went silent. Pamela's eyes sharpened like a hawk spotting prey. We're expecting, I said, smiling warmly at the assembled family. The room exploded in congratulations. Pamela's expression went through rapid changes. Shock, calculation, then forced delight. How absolutely wonderful, she exclaimed, pulling Derek into a hug while barely acknowledging me. When? How far along? Is it a boy? April, I answered, and we don't know the gender yet. Well, I'll organize the baby shower naturally, Pamela announced immediately. Don't worry about anything. I know exactly what my grandchild requires. Actually, we wanted to, I started, but Derek's cousin Lauren interrupted. Wait, did you say April? But you're barely showing at all. Well, I smiled, that's because she's carrying twins, Derek announced proudly, unable to contain his excitement. 2 babies. The room erupted again, this time with even more enthusiasm and surprise. Everyone except Pamela, her face drained of color, then flushed red, then turned an alarming purple. Her hands clenched the edge of the antique dining table so hard her knuckles went white. Twins? She whispered, her voice barely audible. Isn't it incredible? Christina said quickly, sensing danger in the air. 2 grandchildren at once, Mom. You're so blessed. You're having twins, Pamela screamed, and that's when she grabbed the chair. You calculating little snake. Pamela hoisted the antique wooden chair above her head like a weapon. Mom, put the chair down, Derek shouted, rushing between us. She did this deliberately. Pamela's face had turned purple with rage. Twins! To steal all the attention, to destroy my moment. I pressed my hands protectively over my belly, genuinely terrified. Pamela, please, the babies. Don't you dare play victim. She swung the chair wildly. This is my family. Derek's uncle Robert grabbed the chair from behind while Derek shielded me with his body. Pamela fought against them, screaming incoherently about attention-seeking and manipulation. How does someone have twins deliberately? Christina shouted. Mom, you're being completely insane. IVF, fertility drugs. Pamela was practically frothing. She's a specialist. She knew exactly how to manipulate this. Everything has to revolve around her. First, she steals my son. Now she's stealing my grandmother moment with her twins. Your grandmother moment? Derek's voice was dangerously quiet. These are my children. Meredith's children. You're just the grandmother. Just the grandmother? Pamela broke free and lunged toward me. Derek's father, William. Quiet. William, who never raised his voice, suddenly stepped forward and caught his wife's arms firmly. Enough, Pamela, don't you see what she's doing? Pamela pleaded with the room, her voice cracking. Twins means double everything. Double baby showers, double attention, double gifts. She's making it all about herself. You just tried to assault a pregnant woman with a chair, William said slowly, his voice filled with something I'd never heard from him before. Disgust. Because she's giving you 2 grandchildren instead of 1. Do you hear yourself? The dining room fell silent except for Pamela's ragged breathing. Family members had their phones out, recording the disaster too spectacular to ignore. I think you should leave, Robert said quietly. Cool down somewhere else. This is my house, Pamela shrieked. And these are our guests, William said with unexpected firmness, including our daughter-in-law and our grandchildren. Leave, Pamela, right now. Pamela looked around the room desperately for support and found absolutely none. Even her sister Diane, usually her most loyal defender, was shaking her head in disgust. You'll regret this, Pamela hissed directly at me. I'll make certain of it. She stormed out, slamming every door between the dining room and the foyer. The Christmas dinner continued in awkward silence until Christina raised her wine glass. To Meredith and Derek, she said loudly, and to 2 healthy babies who will be loved by the sane members of this family. The toast broke some of the tension, but the damage was catastrophic. Videos of Pamela's meltdown were already spreading through family group chats. The immediate aftermath was swift and brutal. William, showing more backbone than anyone had seen in decades, insisted Pamela undergo psychiatric evaluation. The diagnosis came back quickly. Narcissistic personality disorder with paranoid features. She genuinely believes you conceived twins specifically to spite her, the psychiatrist told us privately. In her mind, everything revolves around her. Your pregnancy isn't about you having children, it's about stealing attention from her. Pamela refused treatment entirely, instead doubling down on her vendetta, and that's when things got truly dangerous. Pamela called my hospital's medical board, claiming I was mentally unstable and shouldn't be treating patients. When that failed, my colleagues knew me too well. She tried to have Derek removed from his executive position. She told our board I was emotionally compromised by my wife's manipulation, Derek said, half laughing in disbelief. They asked if she meant my pregnant wife. She said yes, like that somehow helped her case. The extended Sullivan family began choosing sides. Most were horrified by Pamela's behavior, but some old guard relatives thought I should be understanding of a grandmother's excitement. Excitement, I said to one particularly tone-deaf aunt. She tried to assault me with furniture. Pamela has always been dramatic, the aunt waved dismissively. You should apologize for surprising her like that. Apologize for being pregnant with twins? I asked incredulously. For not telling her privately first. You know how she likes to be in control. That was the core problem. Everyone had enabled Pamela's need for control for so long that they'd normalized absolute insanity. But karma has a way of finding people who burn bridges while standing on them. Pamela's meltdown videos escaped beyond the family. Someone posted them on social media with the caption, "Mother-in-law from hell attacks pregnant woman over twins." It went viral overnight, 10 million views in 3 days. Suddenly, Pamela Sullivan, Boston society maven and charity queen, was internet famous for all the wrong reasons. The country club suspended her membership pending investigation. Her charity boards asked her to step down until the situation resolved. The companies she'd carefully cultivated relationships with wanted nothing to do with Chairlady, as she'd been dubbed online. "This is your fault!" she screamed over the phone. "You've destroyed my life!" "No, Pamela," I said calmly. "You destroyed your own life. I just got pregnant." She tried everything to regain control. She appeared at my prenatal appointments demanding grandmother's rights. Hospital security had to escort her out when she caused a scene about not being allowed in the examination room. She hired an attorney to sue for grandparent visitation before the babies were even born. The lawyer dropped her as a client after reviewing the Christmas dinner videos. She spread vicious rumors that the babies weren't Derek's, that I'd had an affair. DNA tests shut that down, though the fact we had to take them was exhausting. The pregnancy progressed, and with it, Pamela's desperation intensified. She'd park outside our Brookline brownstone just watching. She'd send flying monkeys, friends, and distant relatives to gather information. She even tried bribing my medical assistant for ultrasound photos. She offered me $5,000, my assistant told me, bewildered, for pictures she'll see eventually. Anyway, she needs to control everything, I explained. Having to wait like everyone else is unbearable for her. The final straw came when I was 7 months pregnant. Pamela had been eerily quiet for weeks, which should have been a warning sign. We were at a restaurant celebrating Christina's birthday when Pamela appeared with a woman none of us recognized. "This is Dr. Fletcher," Pamela announced. "She's a child psychologist specializing in twin development. I've hired her to ensure my grandchildren are raised properly." "You hired someone to raise our children?" Derek asked, stunned. "Well, Meredith will obviously be overwhelmed," Pamela said smoothly. "Twins are extraordinarily difficult, and she insists on working. Fletcher will move into your home and implement proper schedules." "Absolutely not," I interrupted firmly. "You can't prevent me from helping my grandchildren," Pamela smirked. "I've already paid her full year's salary up front." Dr. Fletcher looked distinctly uncomfortable. "Mrs. Sullivan told me you'd agreed to this arrangement." "We didn't," Derek said firmly, "and we don't need help. Please leave." "This is a public restaurant," Pamela protested. "Then we'll leave," Derek said, helping me to my feet. And Pamela, if you come near Meredith or our children again, I'll file a restraining order. You wouldn't dare. Try me. We left, but Pamela's carefully constructed mask had finally shattered completely. The respected society woman was gone, replaced by someone consumed with control and rage. She made good on her threats, but not how we expected. Instead of backing off, she escalated horrifyingly. She contacted Everyday Care in the Boston area, warning them about my instability and inability to care for twins. She called my employer, claiming I was embezzling research funds. She even tried to have our brownstone condemned by filing false reports with the health department. Each attempt failed, but the stress was enormous. I went into early labor at 35 weeks. As I lay in the hospital, machines monitoring both twins' heartbeats, Derek made a decision. "We're done," he said quietly. "No more chances. She's out of our lives permanently." He filed for a restraining order that afternoon using the mountain of evidence we'd accumulated. The judge, after reviewing everything, the videos, the harassment documentation, the false reports, granted it immediately. Pamela found out when she tried to storm the hospital maternity ward, demanding to see her babies. Security stopped her at the entrance, restraining order paperwork in hand. The meltdown was spectacular. She screamed about her rights, her grandbabies, the unfairness of everything. Someone filmed it, naturally. Chair Lady Goes Crazy at Hospital garnered 15 million views in 4 days. Our twins, a boy and a girl, were born healthy despite arriving early. We named them Oliver and Sophie, names Pamela had specifically told Derek she despised, which made them absolutely perfect. The restraining order destroyed what remained of Pamela's reputation. William filed for divorce, citing 38 years of emotional abuse he'd only recognized after therapy. The family rallied around him, sharing stories of Pamela's manipulation they'd been too afraid to mention before. "I lost myself," William told us over coffee, finally looking peaceful. "I let her control everything because fighting was harder. But when I saw her attack my pregnant daughter-in-law, I couldn't pretend anymore." Christina cut contact completely after Pamela tried using her daughters to get photos of the twins. "She actually coached my 6-year-old to steal pictures," Christina said, disgusted. "Who does that?" Pamela's world crumbled systematically. The divorce settlement was generous financially, but she lost everything else. Family, status, reputation, access to her grandchildren. She moved to Arizona, still posting on social media about being a victim of elder abuse and parental alienation. The twins are 2 now and thriving. Act 7. The Aftermath. 550 words. Oliver and Sophie are happy, healthy, and surrounded by family who genuinely love them rather than viewing them as possessions or status symbols. William is an incredible grandfather, finally free to be himself after decades of suppression. Christina's family has grown closer to us than ever. Even Derek's extended family, freed from Pamela's reign of terror, have become authentically supportive. Sometimes I receive messages from Pamela through fake social media accounts. They range from threats to desperate pleas to promises of changed behavior. I delete every single one without responding. Some people don't deserve second chances, especially when they've repeatedly proven they'll waste them. Pamela wanted absolute control over everything. My pregnancy, my children, my life, my family's narrative. Instead, she lost everything that actually mattered. All because she couldn't handle the joy of 2 grandchildren instead of 1. The twins will grow up knowing they're loved, wanted, and fiercely protected. They'll never know the grandmother who saw them as competition for attention rather than blessings to cherish. That's not a loss for them. It's a gift we're giving them. Derek's father visits every weekend now. He plays on the floor with Oliver and Sophie, reads them stories, teaches them songs. "I missed so much with Derek and Christina," he told me once, tears in his eyes. "Pamela controlled every interaction. I won't miss a moment with these 2. Christina brings her daughters over for play dates. The 4 cousins are growing up close, something Pamela's control would never have allowed. My career has flourished. I'm now heading the maternal fetal medicine department at the hospital. doing the work I love while raising my children. The balance Pamela insisted was impossible has become my reality. Derek and I are stronger than ever. Fighting Pamela's attacks together forged us into an unbreakable team. We learned to set boundaries, to protect our family fiercely, to choose each other consistently. Last Christmas, we hosted dinner at our brownstone. The guest list included William, Christina's family, Derek's uncle, Robert and his wife, and several extended family members who'd supported us. It was chaotic, loud, filled with laughter and children running everywhere. "This is what family should be," William said quietly, watching the twins open presents. "Joy, not control, love, not manipulation." I still sometimes see the videos online. They resurface periodically when people discuss toxic in-laws or family drama. Chairlady has become an internet legend, a cautionary tale about narcissism and control. Pamela thought she could control the narrative of our lives. She learned the hard way that when you try to assault a pregnant woman with a chair over twin babies, the only narrative you control is your own downfall. The twins are asking questions now as they get older. "Do we have another grandma?" Sophie asked recently. "You have Grandma Patricia on Mommy's side and Grandpa William?" I answered carefully. "That's your family." "Okay," she said cheerfully, already distracted by something else. "So here's my question for you. When someone demonstrates they care more about control than your safety or your children's well-being, do you give them another chance or do you protect your family no matter the cost?" For me, the answer was clear. My children's safety isn't negotiable, and I'd face 1,000 Pamela Sullivans before I'd let anyone threaten them.